Should we tell him to request? I can't call him though. Okay, not yet, not yet. Are you bringing them in now? Yeah. Okay, good. I'll sit down and say hi. Whoo! That hip hop class was something. I got holy water coming out my pores. It was so much fun. I really am so happy so many of you tuned in. And we'll put it up on our story so you can take the class again if you like. Right now, we're going to go with my friend Liam in Canada. Liam, are you there, Liam? Talk puppets. I know a lot of you made puppets. I need to see more pictures. You all need to send me some pictures of what you made. There you are, Liam.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you?
I am
I'm
so
glad to be.
I brought a friend, some friends.
That's really cool.
This was the puppet that I use with my kids, Vivian and Thump. And this was Little Lamb, Pinky the Pig, Leo the Lion, Barry the Bear, and Chili Chick. And we used to just do this for hours. It's a glove. It's a glove with these little animal figures on it to make it feel like they're really there talking. And each one talked in a different way. So this was my puppet that I've had. This is 30 some years old. This puppet is.
That's really cool. And that's great because you have one character on each finger, so you can just with one hand you can put on a whole show.
Yeah, and they can talk to each other. What are you talking about? I don't know. Yeah, you do. No, I don't. The voices. All right, so Liam, talk to us. I want to know about some more of your puppets and characters. Tell us a little bit and share with our audience. They love you.
Yes. Now, before I go on about that, I just want to say, last week, all the children who sent me pictures of their puppets, you all did a great job, and I'm very impressed with what all of you made. They were really, really cool puppets. And also, if anyone has any questions about my puppets, just feel free to ask in the comment section. Anyways, so what I'm going to show you is my first puppet that I made when I was 12 years old. So, so this puppet's about 4 years old, so he's aged quite a bit, but I've kept him in good shape. His name is Louie, and
Louie.
and it was when I was 12, I wanted to make my own puppet, but like not just a sock puppet or anything. I wanted to make like something that looks like it was pulled out of the Muppets. And so I got a book from the library about making puppets, and then I made this guy.
Louie is so cute.
Thank you. And I kept him in.
Louie. Oh wow, I love your voice, Louie.
Oh, thank you. And I kept him in good shape all these years, and I still use him to this day.
He's so cute. Louie, do you dance?
A little bit.
A little bit. I think
not as good as you do, though. I'll say that.
Well, I think you're adorable, and you're still a young boy. You're only 4 years old.
Yeah, I am. I don't know how old that is.
4 years old with such a deep voice.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how old that is in monster years. They go by a lot faster. I'll say that. We monsters live forever. But now the next puppet I'm working on is not quite finished, but it's going to take a long time. I've gotten into something called creature puppetry. Now, what that is it's really realistic looking creatures as puppets, and they used to use them in sci-fi movies and things like that. And I decided to make my own. So there's this really big panther that I've been working on.
Wow. That's amazing. But you say it's not finished yet? What's missing?
Well, he needs some claws right here, and he needs another leg.
Oh, okay.
And I want to see if I can put in something to make his eyes blink.
Wow. What's his name?
He is. I have not been named yet because I'm not
Okay.
finished,
All
but we will
right.
see.
That's amazing. I love that. How long have you been working on this one?
I started yesterday, so
Oh, wow. Well, you work really fast. That's going to be
Yeah.
finished soon.
Thank you. He gets that a lot.
So, when we watched the movie Star Wars, which I loved when it first came out, and kids are now starting to enjoy it again, Yoda, was Yoda a kind of a puppet?
yes, he was. He was a puppet, and he took two people to do. They had one person doing his hands because his hands were like gloves. That way he could pick things up and stuff. And they had one person, the fellow who did him. His name is Frank Oz, and he's a legendary puppeteer. And he was the best friend of Jim Henson, who we talked about last time. But he performed a lot of puppet characters that you probably all know about. He performed Miss Piggy. Yes, Miss Piggy was performed by a man.
Oh,
He
Frank
did
did
Miss.
it? It was Frank?
Yes, Frank Oz. He did Miss Piggy. He did Fozzie Bear. He did the Cookie Monster. He did Bert. He did lots of different puppet characters. But he did Yoda, and it took one person to do the hands, and he did the mouth with one hand and a special control with the other hand that would move Yoda's eyes and ears and everything.
So
And
when you
so
said someone did the hands, Yoda was very tiny. So was somebody mechanically doing the hands? They didn't have the hand, or
yes,
were they doing this
they were
mechanically?
mechanical doing hands. Yes.
Wow. It was so amazing. Yoda was, and in the new, there's a baby Yoda, which is the most
Yes.
endearing character in the Disney Plus show. That baby Yoda
Yeah.
is everything, everything. So it's fascinating how puppetry, and then, when you go to something like Lord of the Rings, where it becomes CGI. Golem,
Yeah.
he wasn't a puppet. It was
Yeah.
all CGI, right?
Yes. I mean, CGI is cool and everything. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's a little better to have it as a puppet. That way, it's physically there and you can touch it and everything. And then with
Yeah.
CG, it only
And
exists.
puppets
It only exists through the screen. So
and puppets can
yeah.
be gigantic, right? They could be huge,
Yeah. Yeah.
gigantic. I think when they did the Broadway show of King Kong, they had some kind of puppet mimicking the Kong.
Huh.
I don't
I
know,
didn't
but
know.
they did a Broadway show about King Kong where it actually came on stage. He actually came on. So show us some other puppets, Liam. Show us some more of your puppets.
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna show just the three basic kind of puppets. Well, first is a rod puppet. Now, how these work is there's a stick on the arm made of wood or metal or something. I think I showed you this fella in the first stream. His name is Randy Rat. Hi there. And
Randy,
it's nice to see you again, Debbie.
Randy, you are just wonderful. I'm so happy to see you again. Have you been
Thank
keeping
you.
have you been keeping busy?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. What have you been doing, Randy? We're all on lockdown. We can't go anywhere, but you have a place where you live with a lot of friends, right?
Well, yeah, I've been hanging out with my friends and stuff. You know, and it's a good time for us to, now that we're all stuck inside, just kind of get to know each other a bit, and hang out more often. And these work is one person does the mouth. Well, one hand does the mouth and use the other hand to control his arm with a stick.
Oh, okay.
And now the next puppet I'm going to show is what you call a practical hand puppet. Now, how this is what Yoda was. Yoda was a practical hand puppet, I think. How it works is the hands are like gloves. And so it takes two people to do. They usually have one person doing the other hand. But yeah, so his hands are like gloves, so he can wave
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
and he can pick things up.
Wow. Did you make him?
Yes, he did. Every puppet in this shop he's made himself.
Liam, I can't get over you. You're what, 16? 17? How old are
Yes,
you?
he is. He is 16 years old. Yeah.
16 years old and doing such a master already. I'm so excited to know you. I'm really so
Well,
happy
that's
to know you.
Thank you. That reminds me of the puppets on Sesame Street. Yes, that's what we were inspired by. Yes.
Those shows are still so good. I have a granddaughter now, and she is loving Sesame Street. You know, it goes back from the beginning. It's still such a relevant and great show.
It is, and it's been on for 50 years now, so no show has lasted that long.
I don't that in General Hospital.
Yeah.
That in General Hospital. But the only shows that are still on forever. All right, who
Yeah.
else you got up there in your
Oh, well, let me see. Oh,
cabinet?
here's a really
In your house?
big puppet that took me a long time to do. I made him last year.
Whoa.
Hopefully I can fit him into the screen. His name is Herb the Troll.
Herb the Troll. Oh my God.
He's a troll that lives under a bridge.
Hi.
God,
Hi, Debbie.
amazing.
Nice to see you.
I love him. Herb, you are beautiful. I love the colors in your face and your hair. You are just like a fashionista. Fashionista.
No one's ever said that before.
You are
And it's amazing because I was just made out of a rug.
a rug. Well, you brought a rug to life in a way that we just had no idea. I just think that's amazing.
Anything
I
can
love
be
your
a puppet.
purple hair.
Well, that's actually my eyebrow, but
Oh, your eyebrows. Well, they're really beautiful and they give such life and energy to your whole face.
thank you.
But he took me almost a week to make. And he's
That's
really,
a long
really big.
time.
Yes.
You said that's a long time. That's amazing.
And then another
My
interesting
goodness.
kind of puppet there is, I don't think I have one nearby to show, but Sid, if you're watching, you'll know what I'm talking about, is costume puppetry. Now what that is it would be a really, really big puppet that you can actually go inside when you're performing. And it can walk
Oh.
on stage. Big Bird is a good example of that because he's a costume puppet and had someone inside just with their arm up doing his mouth. And Sid Croft created a character called HR Puffinstuff. And that
Yes,
character,
he did.
all he had to do was bounce the head and the mouth would move all on its own, which was amazing.
Wow. Brilliant. So you know
Yeah.
what? We do a show every year called the Hot Chocolate Nutcracker. We've taken the Nutcracker and turned it on its heels, and we have 3 rats. I play one of the rats. I play Bucky, the young stuttering rabbit. Hey, what are you talking about, Harvey? What are you talking about? And then there's Harvey, who is like the head rat, and then there's Schmink, who's like the smart rat. But what we needed in our show that I've never been able to get, we needed a penguin. Maybe you can make us a penguin puppet. You know,
I would
as I
love
looked
to
at-
do that. And
Would
I have
you
lots
do
of this
that for
fur
us?
lying around. I probably could. Yeah.
So we need a penguin because we go to a place called the South Pole, and then the dancers are on roller skates, you know, simulating ice skating. Trey Knight is amazing. He comes in with his skaters, and they're young people that skate. And so we're all in the South Pole. And
Wow.
if there was a way to bring a penguin, you know, I tried to get a real penguin. It was not cost effective.
It's hard to train animals too.
I know. I felt like I could go kidnap one in Alaska and bring it back and do better, but that wouldn't be very nice. So maybe we can start talking about you making us a puppet. So
Yes, I'd love to do that. Just have your people reach out to me. And I'd have to wait because it'd be expensive to ship and everything. But I'd love to do that.
Yeah, because we're friends now. We have a lot of things that we can do.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so tell us more about your shows. Tell us.
So I do both performing live and performing on screen. So the first live show I did was at my church. I've done a lot of puppet shows at my church because they feel that that's a way to really get kids into what they're the messages they're trying to spread is through puppets because kids love puppets. And so I've done a lot of puppet shows for my church. I even led in the summer. I taught some students there how to make puppets and how to perform and everything. And I've done some at my local library. I've done a lot of puppet shows there for the children. And I performed at a charity event at Christmas, which was a both good and kind of crazy experience. Um, but hey, crazy experiences, it's good. It's good to have them. And I've done some stuff at my school. And on screen, I do some little silly YouTube videos and stuff here and there. And I do my own educational children's show called Safari Mall, which is loosely based on Sesame Street, but with my own characters and everything.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to start watching. It's on YouTube?
Yes, it's on YouTube. I'll send you the link later on.
Great. We want to make sure everybody knows so we can keep up with you. Somebody just said hi from Kuwait. Someone just said that today is World Penguin Day. We were talking about penguins. I know. It's just that I'm trying to talk to you, but I'm also reading a lot of notes that are coming in from all over the world. It's really fascinating. From Mimi, who is it? From Alaman. This is so awesome. Alamonster, Danielle, Brenda. There's so many people. This is great.
Yeah, people all around the world getting to see this.
Yeah, Tampa, Florida saying hello to us. Everybody saying hi. I just want to say how Hawaii is calling in. Kuwait, Uruguay is calling in. Argentina is calling in. Oh my God, Canada, of course. Your people are in Canada.
Yeah.
Brazil. How about that?
Wow.
We have an audience that is truly global. And that makes me so happy that we're doing something.
Awesome.
That we're having a conversation and talking about things and showing things that people are really interested in. So I can't stop and say hi to everybody, but hola Brazil, hola Italy, hi China, hi South Carolina. Now you go back. I want you to tell me more about your characters. Any more characters you want to talk about?
Yes, so another one I have right here. Whoops, I probably knocked over a bunch of stuff, but he's a character who I've had for a long, long time, and I created him for work with children.
Oh.
And his name is Garbo the Gorilla.
Garbo the Gorilla, I love him.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just made out of a rug, and his eyes are just some spoons. So
Garbo,
he's made.
You are so adorable, Garbo. Are you shy? Are you kind of shy?
Never. Garbo the Gorilla is never shy. Yeah.
And while I'm here, I'm going to talk for a minute, for those of you interested in puppetry, about creating character and voices and stuff for your puppets. Now, what I find best is to look at the puppet and think of what kind of character this is. Now, when I made him, I figured he's probably, if you look at him too, he seems like just a goofy, silly sort of character. So I thought, what voice would fit? So
he came out with a voice like this. I'm Garbo the Gorilla, just this big goofy guy that,
And and it's good to find a voice that just fits your character. Like this fella right here, his name is Seymour. I've used him on Sid's show a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
He just seemed like a kind of older fellow, truck driver sort of guy. So we gave him kind of a Brooklyn accent like this, Hey, how's it going, Debbie? How you doing?
Hey, Seymour. Yeah, Seymour. I could make you a fried chicken sandwich. I think you would like that.
A fried chicken sandwich? Huh. Haven't had one of those in a while. Yeah. But it was nice to see you anyways,
And yeah, but it's good to find voices that fit your character. That's my way of creating character. Now I'm going to show you something I don't think I've ever showed anyone else before. That's some stuff from my puppetry stuff from the past. Here's now I started because I played with puppets as a kid. My dad had a few that he passed down to me when I was younger. And so here's a picture of me when I was a kid with my first puppet.
Oh, that is so cute! Oh my God! So
And then
adorable.
when I was 12, actually I lied. Louis was not my first puppet. There was a few that I made before that. So here's a picture of me when I was 12 with one of my first puppets right here.
That's so
Um,
cute. Look at you.
but when I was 12, the only puppets I made were my own versions of the Muppets. And when I got older, I thought this is silly. I should be making my own characters. I should create original characters and stuff.
Yeah.
So I made Louie, and then lots of other characters after that. And yes, but I've done a lot over the years.
You have done so much in such a short time. It hasn't been a long time. So where do you see yourself going with this? I mean, you're already making puppets, you have a YouTube show. What are your goals? What do you ultimately want to do?
Well, I'd just like to use this as a career, um, and do it professionally and stuff. Mostly on screen. I like doing videos and stuff, so probably doing something on TV maybe. Um, Maybe working for Sid if he's still on, if he's
Sid
company
is
still.
so great. We're working on so many wonderful projects together. I'm sure this will be something, a lot
Yeah,
of things we're dealing with to come and help us realize our ideas. It'd be great.
yeah. But I maybe want to go and work for Sid, or maybe become a puppeteer on Sesame Street or something like that. I just love to do this as like professionally as my career, which should be really cool.
Well, let's keep talking about it. I mean, I'm working with a lot of wonderful people. I work in Shondaland most of the time. Shonda Rhimes on Grey's Anatomy. I executive produce the show. Work with some incredible actors, great writers. And the network is ABC. But right now, the world is so open, and with everything being shut down right now, everyone is recalibrating what really resonates with people, you know.
Exactly.
And this is
Trying new
resonating
things
in a
and stuff.
way that's just amazing. I'm so glad that I know Sid Croft personally, and I go up to his mountaintop, wonderful. I call it a little castle in the sky. If you ever come, you will love how he lives. It's like going into something from Lord of the Rings. And he has parakeets walking around and
Wow.
talking, and I mean real parakeets, and cats, and beautiful fish pond. And Sid is one of my dearest friends, and I'm so thrilled to work with him. We have
Yeah.
some wonderful things we're working on together, so we need to all come. So we don't know when you'll be able to come from Canada. I don't know if anybody can travel from Canada, can they?
Well, you can. It's just really expensive. So
It's expensive and maybe not safe right now. We probably have to
yeah.
just stay safe a little longer.
And also, it's more expensive, like for Canadian to travel to America, because keep in mind, American money is worth a lot more in Canada. Like $20 US is $31 in Canadian, so it's a lot more.
Oh,
So
so maybe you should come there and buy the ticket there.
yeah, it'd be expensive, but someday
Expensive.
it'll
All right. Well, listen, this is what's wonderful about the internet. There are no borders, and we can see each other as much as we like. And we just have
exactly.
to turn on the knob and call each other. And we're going to keep doing this. So tell me, if you want to give an assignment to the young people, what would you tell them they should work on? What do you want to tell them?
Um, well, maybe if you still have the puppets that you made last week, maybe work on creating a character out of that, like making a voice for them. And the best is creating a backstory for the character. That's what I like doing.
So talk
Just
about what the backstory means. What does that mean?
well, just maybe where your character came from. Like I'll give an example right here. I have to put my hand in him, but Herb the troll right here. His backstory is he's a grumpy old troll who lives under a bridge. He may look ferocious on the outside, but he's really a really nice person on the inside. Yeah. Yeah. But it's good to create kind of a backstory, maybe where your character came from, you know, or what they do for a living.
I
All right.
like that. It's the same thing we do in acting. We call it our we create our backstory.
Yeah.
Who are we? Where we come from?
Yes, where your character comes from and
Actors,
stuff.
the best actors always do that. They write their own stories. It may not be written in the play or what you're writing, but you come up with, who are you, your identity. Mm-hmm.
And like this fella here,
I'm a truck driver and I've been for many, many years. My father was before me and his father before that. It's running the family for a long, long time. And I want to keep that wheel going. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
yeah,
So,
but it's good.
yeah, in the acting world, we called it building the circumstances. So you do a profile on yourself. Like when I played Anita on Broadway in West Side Story many years ago in a definitive revival with Jerome Robbins and Sondheim and all of them, I had to figure out who she was. And I wrote my own story separate from what was written by Arthur Lawrence or what was in the lyrics, just so I could have something at my fingertips every night so I would know who I am and I could touch it every night.
Yeah.
So this is a good exercise. So I want everyone to send me pictures or voices or images or video of yourself so I can post it and share it, because we're hearing from Israel and Australia and
Brazil.
Brazil and Italy and Kansas and see who else, Boston. There's so many people that are
And
reaching
Canada.
out to us right now. And just know that we love you and we'll keep coming. And thank you so much, Liam, for joining us again on this Saturday.
Oh, it's my pleasure being here.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that penguin. We're going to talk about that penguin.
Yes.
So everybody, thank you for tuning in again. And we'll see you tomorrow. I'm doing Salsa Sunday at 1 o'clock. It's going to be fun. And we'll see you next week, Wednesday, and always Saturday for the kids. Okay. Bye. Mwah.
Bye. Thank you for having me here.
Always.